I'm back, and the program is still Hard Talk. We did tell you that we're going to be joined by representatives of a segment of society that is cultural, inbred into the basic civic impulse of contemporary society, the Scout movement. And we have them with us, starting with the Chief Scout Commissioner Nigeria, Honorable Dave
PADOPADS-AWUNAH.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're still within tactile, so we can shake hands.
We shake with the left.
Okay.
You are a scout before.
Oh, that's interesting.
Thank you.
Interestingly, I was also a scout,
Yes.
as a kid, welcome. Yeah. And we also have the Chief Scout Commissioner of Delta State, Honorable
LANDLORD-LAWRENCE.
Lawrence AGBAGORO. Okay, you're very much. AGBAGORO, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're very much welcome. You're very much welcome. Then you also introduced to our friend here, Mr. Augustine Omilo.
Yeah.
Very close to the Chief Scout Commissioner.
Yes, close to Dave.
Handshake.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're very much welcome.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with the Chief Scout Commissioner Nigeria, that entire Nigerian space. What essentially is what's the essence of the Scout movement as we have in contemporary times, necessitating a visit to DPS?
Okay, thank you very much for the honor of having us today at the Delta State Broadcasting Service, if I'm not mistaken. Scouts are a worldwide youth-based educational organization, as you may be aware. The purpose of Scouting, which was conceptualized by the founder, Lord Baden-Powell, in 1907, was basically to create a platform for young people to develop mentally, spiritually, and of course, intellectually. Now, if I say intellectually, Scouting is an educational movement, but basically the non-formal segment of education. Scouting in the world, as you may also be aware, has developed so many minds, and of course it's an organization that is non-religious, so it breaks the boundaries of religion. It's an organization that is non-ethnic, not political. It breaks those boundaries that disturb global unity. So back here in Nigeria, Nigeria was one of the few countries that embraced Scouting when it started back then in 1907. As far back as 1912, the then Niger area embraced Scouting and started it. By 1922, when Sir Hugh Clifford became the first Chief Scout Commissioner of Nigeria, the position that I am today, Scouting was...
And before he molded the Constitution, right?
While the Constitution was being molded,
yes.
The first Constitution was being molded, yes. They also created a pathway towards having Scouting registered in Nigeria. And then, of course, subsequently, as things went on, Scouting, to inform you here at this occasion, is the only non-governmental organization here in Nigeria that was enacted at the Parliament of Nigeria. So we have what we call the Boy Scout Act of Nigeria, empowering the operations of Scouting here in Nigeria. If you may want me to go further briefly.
No, maybe let Lawrence say, yeah, okay, maybe complete it. Okay. Say something about Boy Scout, because I'm interested in what you are saying. Yes, tell us more.
Okay, thank you very much. Like what the CEO of the Scout movement in Nigeria have just said, the Scout movement in Nigeria is a non-formal youth educational body. Yeah, it's worldwide. And the Scouts are global citizens, and as you can see, he has really said that the Scout movement is backed up by the Boy Scout Act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legislation.
Yeah, legislation. So that gives you, the legitimate right to carry out operations in Nigeria.
Okay.
And like every other organization, the Scout movement is the only organization that has the chief judge as its president. As you can see, in the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, the chief judge is installed as the president of the council, including the FCT.
That's an instituted office.
Okay. You understand? Then secondly, you know, in those days, we used to have the Boy Scouts, they go to camping, they do other backwoodman and woodcraft and what have you. But you know, as the world, you know, is, you know, aging globally, we are into digital technology and all that, the Scout movement have a lot of, you know, practices that will conform with you know, what is trendy today in the world. An example of it is you know, we have a program called Scouts for SDG, and we have other world initiative program like the Messenger of Peace that is intended to inspire young people in local communities to do amazing things in their area, you know, where they stay, and they act as catalyst for change and you know, ambassador for, you know, peace in their respective environment. Scout also carry out environment program. You know, like you can see in today's world, climate is changing,
yes,
and deforestation is taking place because of human activity and what have you. So Scouting, you know, movement, you know, worldwide is drastically, you know, taking it upon themselves to arrest all those degradation that is occurring, you know, around the world today.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Great. Let me take on the Oga Patapata.
It's logical for you to do that. It's closer.
Yes. Yes. You are in Delta State.
Yes.
You know, when governments come, particularly, for example, if a governor is to be sworn in now, the judge will perform that and administer oath on him. Now you are in Delta State to kind of decorate our chief judge. Are you going to administer oath on him, or I mean, what does it protect? I mean, what is your decoration of our chief judge? What does it stand for? What does it mean to us?
The chief judge of Delta State, just like all the chief judges of states of Nigeria, Federation of Nigeria, the moment you get into the office, the law provides that you become the head of scouting. That's the president of scouts in your state. Okay. So what we do,
different from what Lawrence is now.
Lawrence is the operational head,
commissioner.
Yes.
Okay.
That is, it carries out operations.
Okay.
The operational and administrative.
Okay.
The person who is the head or ceremonial, like you used to run during your parliamentary system. Then you have the president. In the case we had,
ceremonial.
The ceremonial, if you want to put it, is the chief judge.
Okay.
Now, the chief judge, we are here today to carry out what we call an investiture, which you may want to also liken to what you are calling an oath. So she will take oath into the office of chief judge, president of the Scout Council of Delta, under the Scout Association of Nigeria. And of course, you all know the three fingers.
Yeah.
When we get out today, we have our raise our three fingers and recite some of the promises and laws of scouting, and also promise to adhere to those promises and laws. So that's all.
That's all it's about.
Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So, yeah, you've already, like I said, it's more logical for you to communicate. It's closer to you. So let me now shift to
the one that is more logical to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interestingly, to where it comes from, you know, also connects with my ancestry. You are from Eku, right?
Yeah, I'm from Eku.
So, first of all, what is the prefix, you know, for the scout? We usually have for the legislators, the honorable. So what's the prefix? Is it Mr. or Comrade or whatever?
Scouter.
Oh,
Scouter.
Okay. So,
Scouter, yeah.
Okay, Scouter, Lord-Lawrence.
Yeah. Because in also some influential social organizations and institutions, especially, including especially the Rotary, you know, Rotarian this, Rotarian that. So in this case, Scouter, right?
Yes.
So what we're also aware that it has historically grown alongside, you know, its you know, gender extension.
Yes.
The girl guide.
Girl guide, yes.
So we don't have a guide here. How do you explain that?
We have guest guide in
yeah.
Delta State.
Yes.
In Nigeria and Delta State by extension.
Yes, yes.
And the guest guide was founded alongside the Scout movement. The wife of Lord Body Powell, Lady Body Powell,
yes.
founded the guest guide movement.
Yes.
But as society grows, a lot of women, what have you, they also find interest in the Scout movement, even though there's the guest guide that is in existence.
Yes.
So at a world conference in Durban some years back, it's in 1990, 1991. So they now removed the word boys from the movement to become Scout movement, and irrespective national Scout organization, in other countries they have their registered technology. Like in Nigeria here, we have the Scout Association in Nigeria, in other words referred to as the NSO, Nigeria NSO. Okay, so right in Delta State here we have guest guide, and I think they are more prominent in Warri and they're even in ASABA here. They have, and so far the Scout.
And that customary sky blue, the purple
yes,
is still there. It's still prevalent.
Yeah,
okay.
But women are a Scout. Women guess they are a Scout. Okay. As you can see that she goes go to the temple. You will see other women like here with us present is the Assistant Chief Commissioner of Nigeria representing South Zone. She is the former Chief Judge of Edo State. She's here and she's going to, accompany the CEO to invest the state president. So you will see her on a full regalia as a Scout.
Okay, personally, I will not let you go without asking you this question. What does it take for any person in the society to become a member of this association? I know you are not just starting. You may have started when you were, what does it take for somebody to enlist into the association?
Okay, I think before I pick on this question, let me, as an appendage to the question, the answers by the State Commissioner. He rightly said that before now, what you knew was the Boy Scouts. But the consciousness about gender balance, which of course was very properly enhanced during the Virgin Conference, for those of you who are aware.
Yes.
Scouting quickly keyed in and said, okay, we cannot have an organization that would be just for the boys and the men. So in that light, we said, okay, remove the boy and let's have Scouts, so that women could join. Not, we don't want to be discriminatory to women.
Yes.
So just as an addition to that. And of course here in Nigeria we also have women. It's a thing of preference. If you want to be in a guide, you could be. If you want to be with us, it could be. But you see, this thing about discrimination, when women keep crying discrimination, they discriminate against us because while they are joining Scouts, we are not joining guest guides.
Yes.
They are not changing their own name. They have not changed theirs. Anyway, by the way, it is very simple. Scouting, let me shock you now today. Scouting starts from 6 years old, where you could be a beaver. You could be an eaglet, as we call it here in Nigeria, at between age 4 to age 6. But when you get to 26 years, it stops. So all of us who are 26 years, 27 years and above are volunteers. We are volunteering for the young ones who are Scouts. And you can volunteer as you are. If you were a Scout before, you are not a Scout. The moment you engage in programs for the young people who are Scouts, we shall give you our neckerchief, what you see here, which is a symbol of Scouting worldwide, and you automatically become a Scout leader at that moment. And if the interest is there, why not you could continue? So it's as simple as that. Of course, the rules of pay your dues, the rules of ensure that your duty is to country, your duty is to all persons. You must make sure that you are useful to others. Those laws are there, those principles are there, and those are the cardinal.
You grow with principles.
You grow with principles of duty to God first, to country, and to mankind.
So maybe you conclude with them.
That clarification, sums up. You've you've actually enlightened us, and I still connect with scouting basically, because it was a childhood in love, and it did impact on our lives. So I want to thank you very much for coming, and we'll continue with that left hand handshake.
And by the way, the left handshake, yes. There are so many meanings to it, but you all know biologically, the position of the heart is by the left.
Okay.
So when you shake a brother, you shake from your heart.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the olden times, it used to be a situation where you are carrying your arm here when there used to be wars. You're carrying your arm or your staff as it is, and then you shake with your left hand, because this is the one that is not engaged. Thank you very much for your opportunity.
You know, an irresistible cultural feature of society is scouting. You know, I'm sure we did regale you with the snippets of the presence and a very interesting history and aspect, you know, to development. We're still with the program Talk, and stay with us as we come back in a short while.